So welcome everybody. For those who do not know me, my name is Regan Miner. I am the chairman of the Historic District Commission here. What I'm going to do before we get started is I have a couple things just to review with everybody to kind of explain how the meeting is going to go. So just bear with me while I read my little pre-written spiel. I would just ask that if you're not speaking, if you could just mute yourself so that we don't have any background noise. That would be really helpful. So thank you. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the regular meeting of the August 18th, 2021 Historic District Commission meeting. I also wanted to let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded. So this will be available on the city's website probably tomorrow or at the end of this week. So our meeting tonight will be broken into two sections. The public hearing will be first, and then the regular meeting will be second. The public hearing is the opportunity for the applicants to present their applications to the commission and for the commission to ask applicants questions. Once the public hearing closes, the regular meeting will then begin. The regular meeting is where the commission discusses and votes on applications. So applicants are welcome to stay and listen to the regular meeting, but please note you will not be allowed to speak or provide any more information on your applicant. It's not required that you stay. You don't have to. You can if you want to. Regardless, all applicants will receive written notification regarding the commission's decision on their application in writing by tomorrow. So you'll get an email from me probably tomorrow morning notifying you what the commission decided. So thank you for all being here this evening. Before we move into the public hearing, are there any questions on what I just reviewed? Okay, hearing none. I'm going to start the public hearing at, let's see, 5:33 p.m. And the first item on our agenda is COA 462 44 East Town Street. I do not believe we have an applicant present to discuss this application. So seeing no one present, I will move on here to our next COA, COA 463 6 Ox Hill Road. And I believe we do have the applicant present this evening to discuss their proposal. So Sandra, I'll invite you to give us a little presentation and take it away.
Okay, I didn't know I was going to give a presentation.
Well, just a quick overview, not a real presentation, just a quick 5-minute whatever you got.
Okay, we bought the house and we were under the impression that the roof on the garage was not good, and we know it's not good because it's leaking in several places. And so we are seeking to replace the roof with cedar shingles, just like it has now, and also some of the fascia that's gotten ruined because of the water problem. I don't know what else to say to you. Oh, the people that will be doing the roof are the same people that did the house at 6 Ox Hill. So they know what they're doing, I assume.
Perfect. And here comes Nancy, so that's good timing. Excellent. Well, thank you, Sandra. Do any members of the commission have questions for Sandra regarding her application?
No, her presentation was fairly clear, so straightforward.
Thank you, Richard. Go ahead, Tim.
This is Tim Dowen, and so the pictures, and you had a lot of pictures in here. I just had it shows, I think, one.
Start the video. Sorry, what?
Oh, hang on. Nancy, can you just make sure you mute yourself if you're not speaking?
Okay.
Click allow access, the blue button.
Hang on.
All right. So
try again, Tim. Go ahead.
Yes.
all right. So a lot of pictures. I think they're of the same roof. It's just a single side of the roof, for, or they're both sides. It looks like most of the pictures I got were of one side of it.
Now you have pictures of both sides.
It's both sides. It's the whole roof.
It is a whole roof, so it's the two sides here, and yeah, and again, it's everything is wood for wood, replacing it with the cedar shingles, so that's a good thing there.
That's
There's a little jog, I guess I'm not quite sure what that is.
Yep.
An odd shaped thing that has a little bit of some tape, some flashing tape around it.
Oh, yeah, that's where they tried to repair it
that person
and it didn't work.
Okay. So that will be replaced by hopefully undersheathing and the lights and a full roof.
Yes, yes, that will be gone. It will be the whole roof, all cedar.
Okay, good.
shingles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I think, just again, forgive me, this might be for the other people. Did we not have this application in front of us before? Maybe the previous owner?
Yeah. Yeah, we did a couple of months, I don't even know how many months ago now at this point. But yeah, yes, Tim, with the previous owner, we did have this application, and since it's been past 6 months, the application expired. So I encouraged Sandra and her daughter just to resubmit for us for the August meeting.
Got it. All right. That's all I had to. So
Awesome. Thank you. And Nancy, just to catch you up to speed, we are on COA 463-6 Ox Hill Road. So we're just in the Q&A portion.
Sure, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. As a neighbor right up the street, I can see the house. It needs it.
Needs a new fence.
needs it.
Look for that in the future.
I'm out. So goodbye, me.
Awesome. Any further questions for the applicants? Sandra and Michelle, is that right? Is that Michelle next to you? That's what I thought. I assumed, but didn't want to make that assumption. Do you guys have anything further you'd like to share with us?
No, just we need a new roof on the garage.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you being here this evening. So thank you for coming, and you're welcome to stick around and listen if you want to, but you don't have to. I'll be in touch with you, Sandra, via email tomorrow regardless. So you're welcome to stick around, but you can also go log off and have dinner if you'd like.
Logging off. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for your
Bye.
time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay. So we are moving forward here in the regular meeting. So the public hearing has closed at 5:39 p.m. and we are entering the regular meeting. First item on our agenda is action on COAs. So I would entertain a motion to approve COA 462 as submitted.
So moved.
Thank you, Richard.
I'll second that.
And Tim, second. Thank you. Appreciate it. And again, we had conversations about this application at the last meeting. So this is just the formal approval of the work that was done due to the extenuating circumstances that the applicant faced. So this is just a rubber stamping formal approval here tonight. And the work was done and it looks good, I have to be honest. I checked out the unit and they painted it to match the color of the house. So it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say it notes that the color has been painted, whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm sure it does blend in. What was the this was obviously it's done in hindsight. The approval's being done in hindsight. The
Mhm.
reason they needed this or they had done this before and didn't realize they needed a COA, or what was the?
No, they knew
What-
they needed a COA. What they were facing, this work was technically supposed to be done before they closed on the house in May. And the previous applicant, or excuse me, the previous homeowner, the work was not done. I don't know details. All I know is it wasn't done. And they were under the gun and had a deadline, I believe, with their insurance company to get it done as well. There was a lot of tight deadlines that they needed to get in place. So upon consultation with myself and Richard regarding their extenuating circumstances, I think, Richard, did you go and talk with them? I can't remember. I know I've spoken to her via email, but did you go and look at the site? I can't remember.
The 6 Ox Hill?
No, 44 East Town
The
Street.
wire, the wiring, right?
44 East Town, yes, I stopped and spoke with her.
Right. that's
And
what I thought.
it was very straightforward, something that, you know, every house in the district needs to have done if they haven't had it done, just for
Mhm.
safety.
Mhm.
That's the upgrade wiring, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I think they upgraded the electrical box. So
Yeah,
2 boxes here.
all that was supposed to be conditional on the sale of the house. And since that didn't happen, the current homeowners were under the gun with getting that taken care of. So,
yeah, they had the money in escrow to get it done, but they had a time frame that they had to do it within.
mhm.
But in the July meeting, she had COA 461 for the roof. That
Mhm.
obviously was approved or whatever, and then this was just noted that, hey, we got to get this in real quick, type of thing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think by the time she had reached out to us, I'd have to go back and look at my emails, but I think she was past the window of when she could submit a COA to the commission for July, which is why I just told her to do it for August and move forward with the work at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, I haven't looked at it, whatever, but I agree. If it's blended in, I know that I've got a meter on the outside and the same similar thing, and blend it
Mhm.
in as best we can. So,
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, any further discussion?
Would it be best if I abstained from voting because I didn't hear the whole thing?
You're welcome to, Nancy. However, the applicant wasn't present to present their application. This is just going off of, previous conversations we had with them and based off of last meeting. So you're welcome to abstain, but there was no applicant present tonight to present anyway.
So I guess what I heard is replacement is, the reconstruction is like for like. That's
Oh,
pretty much-
sorry, we're talking about COA
Yep.
462 still.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, this
Yeah, we're
is-
not-
Maybe I should abstain. Why don't I just abstain then?
You can do that. So
As long as you have enough.
any further discussion on COA 462, 44 East Town Street? So hearing none, I will do the roll call vote, and I'm just doing it based on where everybody is on my screen. So there's no playing favorites. It's just where you guys are. So Richard, I'll start with you.
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Nancy,
Abstain.
Tim,
I
and I vote aye. So the motion passes. Thank you, everybody.
Chris?
So next COA is COA 463 6 Ox Hill Road, and I would entertain a motion to accept the application as presented and submitted.
I'll
Go
I'll
ahead,
make that
Tim.
motion.
Tim, thank you. Is there a second? Was that you, Richard,
I'll
seconding?
second it, yeah.
So Richard seconds, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will do the roll call vote another time. Richard, I'll start with you.
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Nancy,
Abstain.
thank you. Tim,
I
and I vote aye as well, so the motion passes. Thank you, everybody. We're breezing through here. Next thing on the agenda is approval of minutes from the Wednesday, July 21st, 2021 regular meeting. Excuse me, what am I saying? I was getting ahead of myself here. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Thank you, Greg. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Richard. Any discussion?
I think there was something small I meant to mention, but now I'm trying to find them in the file here. I don't even see it anymore. Oh my gosh. I think just what it was when the minutes said under public meeting CO 461 44 East Town Street,
Mhm.
in the body of it, it just wasn't a sentence, so I'm not sure it was what I said actually, but most of the way down it says Nancy O'Neill asked is the existing roofing material. I think I said, what is the existing roofing material? I think that's what it was. So it's just a small correction to make sense. Because then
Okay.
she responded that it was an asphalt shingle material. So I'm thinking that's what I said. So it should just say asked what is. So what is left out? Very minor. But I remember reading it just didn't make sense when I read it.
Thank
So the
you.
word what should be put in there, and otherwise I didn't see anything else wrong, except I know I know in the body of it, I think she told us she corrected this, but it said it took place in June, but it was July. At the very top,
Mhm,
it says the meeting was held, she meant to say July 21st.
mhm. So Catherine says she has no mic, but she hears you and will make those corrections.
Sure, otherwise it looks good.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. So just note those corrections and we'll get them into the final draft. Perfect. Any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, I will do the roll call vote to include those changes that Nancy recommended into the final draft of the minutes. So Richard, I'll start with you.
He's mute.
I,
Thank you. Craig,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Tim,
I'll abstain.
because you were absent. Sounds good. Thank you.
Correct.
And I will say aye. So the minutes pass. Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, Nancy, for those corrections. And thank you, Catherine, for always doing a good job. We appreciate you taking minutes. So thank you. I want to just quickly I'm going to skip the chairman's report because I don't have anything to report. I want to skip to old business, and I'm going to be wearing dual hats here for a moment, everybody. So almost 6 months ago now, the Historical Society had applied to replace the Lathrop Schoolhouse roof with cedar shingles back in February of this year. And due to COVID, we were just kind of delayed on that project. And we have the contractor lined up and ready to do the work probably this month, but he hasn't given me a hard day on when the work is starting. And since we're kind of creeping over our 6-month deadline with our COA, I figured that I would just come and ask for the application to be extended. I'm hoping this work will be done at the end of August, but it may go over into September. So I just wanted to formally request an extension for our COA 446 at 69 East Town Street. The application is the same. Nothing has changed. We just need a little bit more time.
No problem.
So
The roll call.
You have to take a vote on that then, Reagan, you think?
yeah, we probably need to
Yeah.
vote. And
Okay.
Tim, as vice chairman, would you mind doing that for me, since I am wearing my dual hats and need to abstain regardless? Would you mind doing that for me? Tim, you there? Uh-oh, did we lose him in the wilds of?
No. I'm sorry. I'm muted because I took your earlier admonition or
thank you.
whatever, saying you get on mute or whatever.
Thank
So at any rate, I entertain a motion that we extend COA 446 beyond the 6-month normal period of time. I don't know if we want to extend it for 3 months or another 6 months, whatever, so we don't have to do this a second time. I think this was passed and everything looks good. It's just getting it done. So if someone wants to make that motion in a
I
better
will make
word.
that, yeah, I will make that motion, and probably should be 6 months just to cover us, if that seems reasonable. You probably won't need it, but might be a good idea.
Okay. Do we have a second? The motion is to extend COA 446's approval for 6 months, extending out to whatever that date would be. So
December.
we'll leave that. So
6 months, yeah.
did someone second that?
second that.
All right. Richard seconded it. So since I don't have people in front of me, but I think I can remember who was here. Let's see, we'll take, well, do we have any discussion on it?
No.
Hearing no discussion, then we'll take a vote. Richard?
Greg,
That was an aye.
Yes.
Greg?
aye.
Nancy?
Aye.
I don't know if I have to say, Regan, you're abstaining?
Yeah, Regan will abstain from the vote.
Okay. And Timothy says aye. Did I get everyone?
Yeah, you got everybody.
Okay, good. All right.
Good job
Looks
doing
like
it
this
from,
passes from the blind.
yeah.
So I don't know what the exact date is, but I'm sure that's on the record somewhere. But it passes unanimously with one abstention. 446 is extended for 6 months.
Thank you, Tim. Good job doing it without a screen.
There we go.
Well,
All right, I relinquish my duties. Back to you.
Thank you. You were pretty good. Watch out, I may make you chairman.
good job. Yeah, she's looking for one.
Sorry, no, I'm losing connection here.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. So now the last piece of business is under new business, and you probably are wondering who this very nice gentleman joining us for our Zoom call has been this entire time. I'd like to introduce Chris to everybody. He is our consultant helping us with updating our design guidelines. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for him to meet members of the commission and just have a little friendly chat. So Chris, if you have anything you'd like to say, I welcome you to the stage here.
Great. Thank you, Regan. So Regan and I had a great tour around the districts. It was a little rainy, but we had a great time. I love Norwich. I'd never been to Norwich before, but it's an amazing place. So I definitely want to come back and explore the local historic districts, but also really explore the whole city and really spend some time walking around town and visit your National Register districts as well. So I'm working on the design guidelines already, coming along. Let's see, I could just tell you a little bit about myself, a little background, just quick. But then I'd also like to just go around, and if you can tell me how you ended up on the commission. I'd like to hear a little bit about each of you too. So if we could do that, go around. So I've been at the State Historic Preservation Office for Massachusetts, the Massachusetts Historical Commission, for the past 24 years. So I was the director of local government programs there, and worked with all the local historical commissions and district commissions across the state. So somewhere in the 450 commission range. Basically lots of all volunteers for the most part. So lots of assisting, lots of explaining how things work. And then I was also CLG coordinator and administered several of our grants when they came in for things like design guidelines. So some of the design guidelines have come in. We've hired, it's like in Norwich, just a similar situation in Norwich. Consultant was hired by the municipality, but I was reviewing all of the material that came in from the consultant for the design guidelines as part of my role as the CLG coordinator. So I just retired from state government officially last month. So after 24 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And decided I needed a change. But I was sad about not being able to continue in my world of historic preservation. If I go onto YouTube or something like that, it usually ends up being something related to planning or historic preservation somehow. So it's definitely part of me, and I couldn't quite give it up. So I'm very interested in doing some consulting work, particularly in the Northeast, and was excited to see this one from Norwich come up for design guidelines. So very happy to get it, and it's coming along well. And looking forward to coming down again on a sunny day and doing some more walking around as well. So any questions for me, feel free to ask anytime, but if you could just go around and just say your name and how long you've been on the commission. And then sort of if you have a specialty on the commission, that's nice to hear as well.
Richard, how about we start with you?
Okay. Well, you know the name Richard Geidebeck. I was sitting here trying to think of how I got on the board on a commission, and I really don't remember. I think I've been on it for about 10 years, something like that. Is that?
I can't remember either, Richard, how you got
Yeah,
involved.
yeah, it goes back to the time when Moses was a baby. So that's about it. My specialty is basically historical work in archives and conservation. Principally originally with the Leffingwell Inn in Norwich, and now I'm at the Indian Colonial Research Center in Old Mystic. So doing the same kind of thing, just digging around old dusty papers. So that's pretty much what I do. It's that's it.
Thank you. Greg, how about we go with you next?
Okay, I'm involved with the Leffingwell Inn and the Joseph Carpenter House, primarily structurally, and maintenance is my areas of expertise in the buildings.
And you recently got on the commission, Greg.
Yeah, very recently, yeah, within weeks, probably. What, Cammy? That's it, it's me.
Yeah.
You've been on the
I'm
commission.
really involved in these buildings, I'm telling you. Really heavily involved I have been. But yeah, okay.
You have my sympathies.
Yeah, I know, you know what it's like. Yeah, it's
And
terrifying.
you've been on the commission for about a year, Greg. We got you last year, I think.
All right.
Yeah. So Nancy, we'll go to you next, please.
Well, I go back to the days when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. So
Yep.
I was asked to join the commission by Norma Schnipp when Norma was the chairman, and those are the days when Judy Hamblin was on the commission as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And basically she requested either my husband Don or I consider it, because we're both attorneys, but we also had the office building here on Washington Street in the Historic District. So she thought that would be a good match. I'm not really knowledgeable specifically like some of you are with regard to either architecture or, you know, the historic nature of buildings per se and in that way. But I work in one many hours a day. And as an attorney, I think Norma felt it would just help to have some general knowledge about things. So that's how I ended up starting on the commission. And basically, I tend to stay places I enter. So here I am still. But I know many have come and gone while I've remained on the commission. So here I am. But that my initial contact was Norma Schnipp.
Wow.
Goes way back.
Yeah.
1980s, actually.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
And I know Catherine doesn't have a mic, but she is our recording secretary. And she's also the recording secretary for a variety of other city commissions as well. And we, for a couple of years, didn't have a recording secretary because our budget was slashed with the city. And so we're very thankful that we have Catherine. Greg, did you have your hand raised?
No, I'm just playing with my machine. I've never been on this program before. Go ahead. Thank you for asking on that.
No, that's okay. Tim, go ahead.
All right, so Tim Dowen. My mind is a little bit hazy about joining up. I was in a historic pub downtown, I think. Billy Wilson's Aging Still, and may have had a little bit too much to drink. And the next thing I knew, I woke up in the morning and I had a tattoo that said I was part of the HDC. So, but no, I've been around for now. I couldn't tell you, but I know Gideon was the chair at the time, and we've had a few since then. So it has been several years now. I don't know if I have any specialties here other than living in the historic district. And so I certainly have a keen interest there, being here and learning from other people about the architecture and about the whole district. So that's my my interest, and I don't know if I bring anything, but other than I do have a vote, so that's a good thing.
You're pretty
That's it.
knowledgeable, Jim. Thank you. And Chris, you know me, I'm happy to share a little bit, but you and I did have a nice long chat. I'll just quickly share that I got involved first with the commission when Gideon and Melanie were leaving, and Melanie, as Gideon's wife, was the recording secretary, and they needed a recording secretary, so I took that job, and then have continued to have various roles with the commission, from recording secretary, vice chairman, interim chairman to chairman. So I've been going up the ranks. Gideon probably reached out to me with my involvement with Norwich Historical Society. I'm the executive director of the Norwich Historical Society. I've got a master's in public history. I know the ins and outs of the SHPO office, and now I live in the district. So, which is really exciting. I'm now in the Norwich Town Historic District. So I'm happy to be a part of the commission and help to see these neighborhoods continue to be preserved. So that's my quick little spiel.
Great. Well, it's great to hear, everybody. Definitely helpful for me.
When you're in town, please stop by. We'll be glad to give you a tour of some of the buildings. Even though you're not that much interested in the interior, what we have is unbelievable in this city. It really is.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, we didn't get to do that the first time Chris was here. We mostly walked the two districts just to give him a quick overview. But that's a good idea, Greg, for next time.
If he wants to, yeah, by all means, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly, as in terms of the guidelines, it will certainly be just exterior features sizzle from the public way, but that doesn't mean I'm not interested in the interiors.
I know. Okay.
Cool. I don't have anything else for anybody, unless Chris, you have any more questions you want to ask the commission, or if commission members have questions for Chris at this point.
I mean, I'll have lots of questions that I can just either direct just to you, Regan, just in terms of as I keep writing things, I keep coming up with more questions. So I can either I can wait on those, and we can just go over those next time we meet. Maybe we could just talk a minute about public input right now.
Sure, that's a good idea.
So that's part of the scope, and that's a big part of how you're going to develop design guidelines. You want to have some input particularly from property owners if they wish to just offer their perspectives on design guidelines.
That's a good idea. So I think what would be ideal is we could do one of two things at our what is this, August? We could either at our September or October meeting have a public input session, invite members, or I should say residents in the two districts to attend this meeting, our next regular meeting, and then have a little bit of a Q&A with residents and a little presentation about what to expect with the design guidelines. We could do it at our regular meeting, or we could schedule an additional meeting either next month or in October. We could schedule a special meeting which is just the kind of Q&A presentation sort of thing. So I'm open to either option. I don't know what would be more efficient. And part of it also, we just need to have enough time to notify residents in the district to attend the meeting if they're interested. Richard was helping me with making sure all the addresses are up to date in the district, because we've had a bunch of turnover lately. So what I'd want to do is mail a notice to people who I don't have their emails for. I basically have emails for everybody in the Norwich Town Historic District, with the exception of only a couple, and I have only a couple emails of people in Little Plain. So we'd probably need to spend more time sending letters out to Little Plain District. So just wanted to throw that out as food for thought. Wanting to make sure we have enough time for a mailing just to notify, and we could also put it in the newspaper as well. So there's that as well. I just want to make sure people, I don't want to hear from people that we haven't made an effort to communicate with them. So I want to at least do this mailing as an opportunity to get public input, especially from the Little Plain district, because I don't have email addresses really for that district.
And
Okay.
I
think
don't
that
know
sounds
if
good.
you're aware.
What's the timing on this?
Well, sorry, Richard, what were you saying? And then I'll
Yeah,
ask.
I don't know if Chris is aware that the Little Plains district is, we only have say over about half of it.
Oh, yeah, I did tell him that, yeah.
Okay.
Greg, so you had asked about timeline?
Or maybe they're old and troglodytes, Fletch. Yeah, but what's the timing on this project that we're looking at here?
So we're hoping to have this done by the end of the calendar year.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any input we can do for you, let us know. Any doors we need to open, whatever, because we got access to a few buildings.
Okay,
All right,
thank you, Greg.
Chris? Yeah.
So Chris, from your perspective, would it be easier / more helpful to have public input in September or October, depending on where you're at with the draft? What are your feelings?
I don't have a preference so much on whether it's September or October. I know I can't make your September meeting.
Okay,
So if you wanted to do it that night, I wouldn't be available. I'm out of state that day.
Okay.
September 15th is probably is it September 15th or the 22nd?
it's the third Wednesday in September, so whatever,
Yeah, okay.
so that'll be the
Yeah.
15th,
So
yeah.
that's first, yeah. So okay. Yeah, 15th. Yeah, I am out of town that day. October, so it would be the 20th of October. That one's fine. So if you wanted to stick with your regular
Yeah, I'm
scheduled
good for
meeting,
us.
we could plan for October 20.
Okay, why don't we plan for October 20th in the sense that that will give us enough time to notify residents and also to have a couple of reminders sent out prior to that. My goal is that no one feels like this is a surprise. So wanting enough time.
I'm thinking something would be in the paper also, not just to them, or do we want people outside of the districts also to weigh in, or yay or nay?
I mostly want buy-in from the residents in the district because this will directly affect them. However, it would also be good to have input from city officials. So that's why having this October 20th date is also useful, because then that will allow them enough time to hopefully attend and clear their schedules if they need to.
Yeah, but if there's architects in town that often do work, or contractors, it'd be nice if they wanted to participate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of our roofer guys and chimney guys.
Yep.
And the way
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
envisioning the public input is that I had assumed that, Chris and I would give kind of a presentation about why we're doing this and kind of give an overview of what this means. And Chris, at that point, depending on what you have for a draft, share maybe a little bit of it with the public. And then at the end of the presentation, kind of do a Q&A and take further input at that point. So that was kind of my vision for how things would go. And at this point, this will be virtually on Zoom. The city is advising everybody with the Delta variant to advising all city commissions to meet remotely at this point. So
Actually convenient.
yeah, and hopefully that will increase attendance with residents. Oh, hi, Pero.
Hey, came in.
Well, he's the cutest member I've ever seen.
He is. He's a sweet little guy too. Come on, get down.
Wait,
So how
my
does that-
picture's not even up there. What are you talking about?
My dog.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not my wife. He's better looking. A lot better looking.
So Chris, how does that sound to you as an overview with how we would want to do the public input session? Kind of a presentation first and then input second.
Yeah, definitely. I can either put together a presentation, or we can both work on that together.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, brief presentation explaining how the local historic district works, what design guidelines are, and how they factor into the decision-making process. And then we're looking for input on the guidelines themselves, the topics that should be included in the guidelines, so at that point I can talk about all the kinds of things that get included in design guidelines, roofs and trim, walls, windows, dormers, all those kinds of things.
Mhm.
Um,
Perfect.
we'll get it.
So,
I don't think we necessarily want to present guidelines at that point. It seems a little too early. I think later we want to have what we've put together for the actual guidelines, so that
Okay.
so I think we want to leave it a little bit more open so we can hear what people have to say more.
I think that sounds good. Go ahead, Tim.
so Regan, you were saying, okay, residents, yes, city officials, yes, you were
Mhm.
saying, I think, and then someone said contractors that we may see coming up. I'm assuming that we would be scouring COAs, or do we have a list of ones that we would add to that? And would we be leaving other ones out if we didn't? Is that good or bad? I'm not sure.
That's a good question. It's hard to know contractors because people could use whoever they wanted for a contractor. What I'll do is I will get the information advertising the public input session as broadly as I possibly can, with hopes of catching the various contractor who may want to attend as well.
Question, how large do you envision this? You could have hundreds of people on this.
Yeah, it could be
Really?
a lot. I'm kind of expecting at least a handful of people. I don't know who will actually
Okay.
show up. We'll see. But yeah,
Just
so
be aware, you get the government in there and you get 20 people from town hall right away, you know.
yeah, I'll be honest, we probably get one or two from the building department.
Yeah, that's right.
And-
Yeah, you could cherry pick.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go through each old COA to find contractors. Like I said, I'm just gonna try to generally advertise this as much as I can.
Good. Where'd
Sounds
get
good.
out?
Do we have a limit on how many in Zoom on this? Is there?
That's a good question. I will have to ask the city about that, because this is the city's Zoom account that we're using, and I do not have that information, so I'll have to ask. Okay, I'm making a note of that. Okay, so October 20th for the public input session. I think that'll be good, and I think what we'll do is, oh, that's another thought that I'm having, just thinking about where in the meeting it should go. It probably could go, you know what, I need to ask Michael Driscoll, our city attorney, about where he thinks that would best fit in our agenda, since we would be wanting public input and people speaking. Maybe it would be best under the public hearing.
I was thinking the same thing. That's
Yeah.
not limited just to COAs. It would be public, and we're hearing the public. So
That's a special one.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him about that just to confirm, but I think public hearing probably makes the most sense.
You wouldn't consider having another meeting, would you?
Well, we
For
could.
this, a dedicated?
We certainly could.
Think about it.
It depends if commission members are, well, it depends on a couple factors. One, I have to work with the city to make sure we could get a date for a special meeting. And I have to also work with the city to make sure the Zoom account would be available on a certain day. And I would just want to check with Michael Driscoll, the city attorney.
You know, my thought is, though, if it is recorded, it's in a block, you know, that one subject, instead of having it taken out of the meeting, so to speak. You know, that discussion.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, that's the thought. Think about it.
yeah, and I'm open
That
for
may
any
extend
special
too.
meeting on top of that. Yeah. I'm thinking that we would likely have COAs that we would be having to be addressed here or whatever, and people following in, not that they aren't welcome anyway, but
Yeah.
is that what we want? Is that the focus? So at any rate.
Well, let's
So,
put it this
maybe-
way. How about I reach out to the city attorney to get his opinion
Yeah,
if
talk
he
to
thinks
Mike.
it should be a separate special meeting for the public input session, or if he thinks we could lump it all into the regular meeting. So I'll get some feedback, but regardless, why don't we still aim for that third week in October? if that still is amenable for you, Chris, if that would work.
Yeah, so if it's a third week, if it's a Tuesday or a Thursday, I may not be available right at 5:30, but I'd be available later in the evening, like a 7 o'clock meeting.
Okay. Okay.
I think to me, this really depends on you as the commission. If you're comfortable having another meeting, I think it would be good to just have a separate meeting and really
Okay.
focus on input. And yeah, it's better to not have a large group of people sitting through the approval of the minutes or sitting through public hearings on specific projects.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about, so does everyone feel that way? Would everyone prefer a separate, a special meeting for public input?
It makes more sense, yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
To me, it does also. I'm just wondering, my experience with a special meeting is in replacement of a regular meeting, that there's no rules or anything like that. We can have a regular meeting, we can have special meetings anytime we want,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All
Yeah.
right.
We just have to give, I think it's something like 24 hours notice if we do a special meeting, but obviously we'll have more notice than that. So why don't I check with the city about dates then for a special meeting, because they sometimes get funny with me about that. And I will also, I could do a doodle poll as well for members of the commission here, and you, Chris, as well, on some dates and times that would work. Probably it would be around the same time, 5:30. I know, Chris, you said you had issues for that Tuesday and Thursday, but if we even did it the week before, like that, which is the week of Columbus Day, we could do something like that. Okay.
And maybe 5:30 or maybe 6 is better. I don't know when we would have more, more participation, whether it's closer to the dinner time here or a little bit after. I know we were talking 7 o'clock also, but that may be too late.
Mm-hmm.
Dinner.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just writing notes down. We'll sort it out. So anyway, let's at least aim for then a special meeting sometime in October for just public input on the design guidelines. Okay. Sorry, I can't talk and write at the same time.
I'm doing about walking and chewing gum.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So anything else, Chris? Any other thoughts?
Let's see. The other things I have are kind of the more specific to the guidelines themselves. Just we'll be looking for more input on things like storm windows and some lighting, parking areas, how those kinds of things work. The overall, I have basically the table of contents put together of what I think the good table of contents would look like. So I could talk a little bit about that right now if you wanted to just.
Sure.
On that.
You do have the ability to share your screen if you wanted to, even I don't know if you have the Word doc up and ready to share, but you could always do that, or just talk, whatever you want to do.
I do, okay. Let me see if I can do that.
You may have to use 1,000 words because I don't have a picture.
Oh, that's
right. All right, how's that?
Perfect.
Oh, no, okay. Wondered what happened. Turn away for a second and everything changes.
Okay, so first section for the guidelines would be an introduction. This would be where we would talk about the architectural significance of Norwich. And I kind of want to do this broadly so that it's really talking about the whole city, not getting to the local historic districts yet. Just really talking about just the amazing architectural buildings significance that we have throughout the whole city. And then go into the local historic districts after that. And then talk about National Register districts and local historic districts. And benefits of local historic districts, benefits of having design guidelines, and then the Secretary of the Interior standards. So each one of those is just like a paragraph as part of the introduction. And then a section on the Norwich history. Again, these are brief sections, just so that anyone could pick it up and quickly get a sense of why this is a special place. So history of the city of Norwich, and then the history of historic preservation in Norwich. And so that's going to be like a paragraph talking about, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce the museum correctly, but if you say it.
Oh, Leffingwell or?
Yes, okay, yes. So that's the kind of thing where we would have in that section, your historical society was formed, early threats, all kinds of things like that. We'd even talk about a little bit about urban renewal and some of the unfortunate things that have happened in Norwich over the years. And then we talk about a paragraph about the local historic districts themselves. So here we'd be going back to the 1960s, what was happening in the 1960s, why was Norwich Town and Little Plain proposed and established as local historic districts, and a little bit that what's happened since then. And then third chapter would be on the architectural styles that are found in the local historic districts. Post-medieval, Georgian, Federal, Greek Revival, Italianate, Colonial Revival, Queen Anne. There's other styles in there, and I'm not sure if some of those things, like I don't know if there's any Gothic Revival styles that are in Norwich Town and Little Plain. I couldn't remember any that we.
I don't think so.
That we passed.
No.
So anyway, it's just a short paragraph on each one of those architectural styles, and this is a wonderful place to be able to put in lots of photographs of each. Really choose buildings that are right within the Norwich Town and Little Plain local historic district. So, I mean, really throughout this whole document, there's just wonderful places to put in the wonderful buildings that are in the districts here. Okay, and then we go on to the design review process in the local historic districts. So a paragraph about the Historic District Commission, you guys, and what you do, how you even ended up being where you are. So, being appointed by the city, that you're not part of the historical society, all those kinds of things. Talk a little bit about the local historic districts, kinds of things that are reviewed there. Some maps. We want to make sure we have good maps of the local historic districts. How the application process works. It's good to have a flow chart, so that if anyone just wants to look quickly and see, okay, I have to submit the application, and then that goes to I think that goes to your building department next. Or I'm not sure where you submit your applications right now, but they go to the building department. Eventually, they come to you. There's a public hearing process. There's a vote of the commission. Then there's a certificate that's granted. Then you can get your building permit. So all those things are just on one page on a flow chart. A little bit of an explanation on certificates, on public hearings, explanation on any appeal process, how you deal with violations in the district and how you deal with enforcement. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to put this here. 5 I had is new construction design principles. So really talking about scale, proportion, materials, things like that. I may put that further down within the actual guidelines themselves. And then a section on architectural materials that are out there. So wood, metal, stone, brick, masonry, all those kinds of things. We also were talking here about alternative materials, synthetic kinds of things, which largely aren't appropriate in a local historic district, but not, there are times when it is necessary to make a switch from a natural traditional material of a local historic district. Asphalt shingles being one that's typically done, obviously in a local historic district, unless it's a cedar shingles or slate roof right now. And then we get into the actual guidelines themselves. So I really like to have these set up in alphabetical order, so that anyone can flip through and quickly see what they need to read about. So if your roof, as there was earlier this evening, if the project is about a roof, you can quickly go through this set of guidelines and see the top of the page. It says roofs. Okay, that's what I need to read. And it's just really easy, really user-friendly that way. I think that's the best way to set up a set of design guidelines. So you can see all the different sections that are here. We may switch these around a little bit more. Accessibility, additions, awnings, chimneys, down the line.
Would you
Certainly
consider
the
a
hot
wind
button
tower?
ones are windows, and also we've had a lot of signage come up recently.
Signs.
Yep, windows will definitely be their own section. And in fact, there will probably be several pages for the window section.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see things like shutters and other window features included within the window section, and I've separated those out just because I think the window section just gets too big if you start putting other things in there too. Yes, windows will definitely be there. Signs will be there as well. Right, you're on your phone, so you can't see all these. I can read them all, but we can also just email these out to you somehow, I think. Okay.
Yeah, I can email this to everybody too if you wanted to look at this closer.
Great.
Thank you.
And then there's a last section would be appendices, where you would have your actual ordinance. You want to have a copy of the law that anyone could refer to as well. So the city ordinance there, the Connecticut state law that your ordinance relates to, maybe a glossary of architectural terms, something like that, depending on how confusing we get in terms of our describing all the features. Regan had suggested something in here on resources for homeowners. So we're going to have something in there on tax credits for homeowners and how the Preservation Trust Circuit Rider program works, things like that. A bibliography, acknowledgements would all go in here as well. So this is still certainly fluid draft, up for plenty of changes and additions as we go along, but that's basically how I'm thinking this would work well. And then I could just mention that for each one of these architectural features, awnings, chimneys, fences, foundations, garages, porches, roofs, and so on, each page itself has 3 sections. So it has an overview, sort of describing an overview section, a things to consider section, and then the guidelines themselves. So we don't jump right into the guidelines. There's a little paragraph about porches, kind of talking about maybe the porches that are found in the 2 local historic districts, how porches were used over time, how they've changed. Just a little bit of an intro about that kind of an architectural feature, and then some things to consider as you're planning your project. Good practices just in terms of maybe maintenance. You can kind of including things in there that you don't necessarily, you as a commission, have review over, but it's just good to include just because it's good maintenance kinds of practices in terms of inspecting your porch for rot and paint failures and all those kinds of things. The need for having a qualified architect in some cases might be something we would include in that things to consider section. So a paragraph on things like that. And then we'd actually get into the guidelines from there. So that would be, then we would really talk about the kinds of things that are going to be typically approved in the local historic districts and the kinds of things would typically not be approved in the local historic districts.
Wind power.
What's that?
Wind power?
You want wind power in there?
Well, I mean, you've got solar.
I have solar panels in there. Yep. Yep.
I mean,
if you think
I
there's
don't know if you want somebody to put it in a big a wind turbine. But if you don't address it, somebody may try to do it.
Yep. Yep.
Because you've got, it only hit me because you've got in there the solar, which is a great idea.
Okay. I could mention
What's the thought?
Wind turbines as well. Yeah, it's definitely hard to make sure you think about all the different things right now, but even what might be coming in the future. I mean, especially for something like mechanical and electrical equipment.
Battery.
We just don't know what's that stuff's gonna look like 10 years from now. And I do actually mention in the beginning, in the introduction, when we talk about what these design guidelines are, I talk about how these are not fixed, that a good set of design guidelines changes over time. So the idea here is that you get a really good foundation for these guidelines, but 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you need to make some updates. You have the ability to go. It's a fluid document. You can always update them easily over time. Okay. So any questions from there? How did that all sound?
It sounds good, but let me ask, Regan, have you shared any of the architectural books on Norwich with Chris?
No, we've only had one meeting, so I'm happy to give any resources Chris needs when we see each other next. So I'm happy to give.
I got the Golden Mile, plus, there's been several books on Norwich architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that might be helpful to have some more. I have the pamphlets, but some more detail would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you whatever I have. I think
I'm not sure.
Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I'm sorry. So in the feel good section of this, I think the restoration awards that we had been giving out before, budget has kept us away from that. We want to address that too, don't we? Possibly plant a seed of continuing that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do preservation awards again, and I'd even love, frankly, to even do a plaque program and implement something like that for the future. I don't know if that's, Chris, have you seen that in design guidelines before in other communities? I mean, I don't know. I don't have an opinion if it's in ours or not.
I mean, you could have it in your design guidelines in terms of talking about what you as a commission does, but if it's a new program that you're thinking about doing, you probably wouldn't want to put that in your description of the role of the commission at this point. The only thing I could think about, maybe I've never thought about this before, so I'm just sort of thinking out loud, is how your preservation awards might relate to a set of design guidelines. Because that is kind of an interesting way to think about preservation awards. Obviously, it's got to meet some criteria to get an award, and the criteria that would make the most sense would be your design guidelines. So it's an interesting way to think about it.
That's a great idea. And I got involved as a commission after we kind of lost funding to do those award programs. So I'm not sure how they were run before. And Tim and Nancy and Richard, I don't know if you remember that as well. But I like your idea, Chris, of doing it that way.
Okay, yeah, we could think about how that would fit within a set of design guidelines.
I think that's great. And the plaque program is just my own little brainchild of a goal that I would love to see.
Reward them.
Yeah.
I have one local commission. Well, I don't work at the SHPO anymore, but at the State Historic Preservation Office anymore. But one commission recently gave out a preservation award, and basically they took some reliefs off the side of a building. So a building is being demolished,
Oh,
And they took some murals, carved murals, and incorporated into a new building. And they gave that as a preservation award, which definitely does not meet the Secretary of the Interior standards, and typically would not, something like a project like that would not meet a local set of design guidelines either, because all you've saved is this tiny little fragment of a building, and you've placed it on another building. So not typically something you would see as a preservation award.
yeah. Well, Chris, would you be able to email me the table of contents so I can send them to like specifically Tim can take a look at his convenience?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
Perfect. That's super. Any other thoughts for Chris, everybody? Or Chris, do you have any other thoughts or?
Oh, this is a book that I had kind of, whoops. When I have a background, it doesn't work. Never mind.
I know, I can't see it, Richard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Norwich in the Gilded Age,
Oh, okay.
that book.
Gotcha.
That's,
Yeah, I can load you up with books next time you come to Norwich. I didn't think about it last time, so.
Great.
Sorry.
All right. I didn't have anything else to go over right now.
Okay.
Happy to meet all of you.
Greg, I think you were muted, but I could see you were speaking. Did you have anything, Greg?
Nothing of significance.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's probably a cheer or something like that. But I like this is the way this is going. This is
Yeah.
good.
I think it sounds really good. I'm excited.
It'll save us a lot of work debating with people, but what about this? And what about the phone calls? Yeah, it's look in the band manual.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's definitely the whole idea with design guidelines. Make your job easier and make it easier on the applicants.
Exactly.
All right. Well, welcome, Chris, and thank you. Yep.
Thanks, everybody. So I don't have anything further to bring before the commission. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up and discuss at this time?
No?
No? All right, cool. So at this point, our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, September 15th, 2021, 5:30. It will be on Zoom again. And then I will be in touch with everybody regarding the special meeting that we'll hold in October for the public input session. So stay tuned for a future email from me regarding that information. So with that being said, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Richard. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
too.
make the roll call one more time, everybody. I'm so sorry. I know it's funny, but Richard,
Aye.
Nancy,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Tim,
G.
and then
Aye.
Regan also says aye. So we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. See you at our next meeting. And Chris, thank you for joining us this evening. It was great to have you.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Great to be
Thank
here.
you.
All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Enjoy the
Thank
evening,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Adios.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.